Only a couple of minutes away from the opening kickoff, the Raiders taking on the Houston Oilers. And welcome back once again to the Coliseum. Joel Myers along with Raider Executive Assistant Al LOCASALE. They match up with the Oilers today. They will not face the Oilers, though, Al, during the regular season, so they don't see a pure run-and-shoot team during the regular season. But how does it help the Raiders?
We'll see a lot of teams in the league, including Denver next week, that'll go to 4 wide receivers. And if you don't play well against run-and-shoot teams, you will see even more 4 wide receivers.
And obviously you find out a lot about your depth in the secondary.
Well, yeah, and your design against 4 wide, the linebackers and how they're going to play. You know, the last time we played the Oilers, we certainly didn't play well. We think we've grown and learned a lot about playing against run and shoot. We'll find out a little more today.
Be right back with the opening kickoff as the Raiders match up with the Oilers. Montgomery back, or not Clee, but Tyrone Montgomery back. Did I say Clee? I see him walking over there at midfield without his helmet, close by.
That's why he played he played the whole game last week.
He wasn't
going to play this week.
I got you. Al Del Greco. Where's he in Howfield when you need him? You got it. Thank you. Hold him up, buddy. Hold him up. Hold him up. Hold him. Did they hear me? Okay. We're underway at the Coliseum. The opening kickoff is going to be taken by Tyrone Montgomery from the 6. Spins his way across the 15 to the 20-yard line. So the Raiders, rookie from Mississippi, Tyrone Montgomery, starting things off. 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the 20-yard line, and Jay Schrader will start once again. You can hear the boos coming down to the background. The 9th-year quarterback from UCLA. He's been intercepted 5 times, throwing 2 touchdown passes. Last year hit 53% of his attempts with 15 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. Best season yardage-wise as a Redskin was back in '86 when he threw for over 4,100 yards. In the backfield, the first carry, Nick Bell. Checked at Eric Dickerson. Straight ahead. And he's got 5 on the carry.
There you see the receivers and running backs for the Raiders. Dickerson, Steve Smith in his first start this preseason. Willie Galt, Mervin Fernandez, and Ethan Horton at tight end. Up front, veteran line of Wilkerson, Wisniewski, Don Mosbar, Max Montoya, and Steve Wright.
So Dickerson does get that start. There was some question going into the game. Dickerson stays back there. And the tight end goes into a slot position with Willie Galt going in motion on 2nd and 5 for the Raiders from the 25. A flag in the air. Oilers appear to be offside as Dickerson gets a couple, but it may be a free 5 for the Raiders as the end, Lee Williams, at the top of your screen, looked like he jumped off sides.
Lee Williams, a former San Diego Charger who was acquired by the Houston Oilers in a trade last year.
DeCantac, the referee today, a veteran official, making that call.
Offensive captain for today's game
Offside.
for the Raiders.
Defense, number 97, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Is center Don Mosbar, number 72. There's a defensive line for the Oilers. Williams,
Repeat
Smith,
the down.
and
Second
Pegues.
down.
It is going to be 2nd and inches. Just a second from now after the next play, we'll look at the linebackers in the secondary as well for the Houston Oilers. 2nd and inches for the Raiders. Just shy of the 30-yard line. Dickerson stays in the eye behind Steve Smith. And leading the way is Smith as Dickerson took it across the 30. He's got the first down easily to the 33-yard line. brought down by the right tackle Doug Smith in the 4-3 alignment for the Houston Oilers.
Here you see the linebackers, if they use a 3-4, Al Smith, Johnny Meads, Darrell Lewis, Jerry Gray are in the corners. That's a secondary with 6 defensive backs, which we don't see very often.
For the most part today, though, it will be that 4-3. Smith this time in the split backfield. Nothing doing. A yard, that is all, on 1st and 10 for the 33. Takes it to the 34-yard line.
Oilers ran a little stunt where they had the outside linebackers closing down real sharply. Difficult to block in that hole. You don't have enough people to block everybody on the back side. Remember, the defense has 11 people. The offense really only has 10 because of the quarterback being a ball handler.
Well, we saw a strange game last week with the Raiders losing to the Washington Redskins, where they piled up some impressive numbers offensively in the first half of play, but negated by a couple of key interceptions as Horton goes in motion on 2nd and 9. Dickerson again trying to alter his direction, and again a good stop up front by the front 7 of the Oilers. He only gets to the 36. Ray Childress, another veteran up front, a former first-round pick out of Texas A&M, and he was named to his 3rd straight Pro Bowl last year. Number 79 made the stop.
Another look again. Dickerson trying to find a little space up front. Osbar drove his man to the side, but the defense slanted, closed the holes down.
Had to be encouraging, Al, despite the loss, that they did start to move the ball, and especially on the ground for the Raiders last week.
Well, in the first half, Eric Dickerson on 20 carries had 93 yards, and that's, again, just in 30 minutes work.
Raiders going to 3 wide receivers. Jim Brown going in motion. And it's 3rd and long, 3rd and just about 7. All day for Schrader. Behind Horton, he's got it anyway. First down for the Raiders inside Houston territory, down to the Oilers' 45-yard line. 18 yards on the reception.
Now you've got the same view as Jay Schrader looking downfield. Good protection, has time to throw, and it all starts there. Horton on a slow cross pattern. Willie Gall had gone upfield, cleared out the area with the threat of his speed. Horton up the field, delayed a little bit, and then broke into that open area. But the key to being able to throw well in this league is to have time to look, time to throw.
Couple of first downs for the Raiders now, starting back at their own 20. They've got it 1st and 10, call it the 46. Dickerson again, just 2 on the carry, down to the 44. Good penetration up front. Doug Smith, one of the first ones in there for the Houston Oilers.
There you see Terry Robisky in the white shirt, headset on, connected to the Raider coaches upstairs, signaling in the formation to play.
Everybody thinks that the Houston Oilers is a great offensive team, and they are, with Warren Moon at quarterback. But Al, on defense, the Oilers gave up an average of only 16 points a game last season.
Very strong football team, very physical, excellent athletes. They're really a good defensive football team.
2nd and 8. Ball to the 44 of Houston. Smith in front of Dickerson in the eye. The 2 wideouts at the top of your screen. So they overload that side. It's dumped off. Dickerson is down after a loss of about 3 back at the 47. Put down there by the linebacker, the middle backer, Al Smith. Young man from St. Bernard's High School in his 6th year from Utah State.
Jack Pardee, a great defensive player, linebacker in the NFL for 15 years. Head coach with the Bears, with the Washington Redskins, and a man whose background is defense. And that's why you can expect a good defensive ball club year after year from the Houston Oilers.
And a former NFC Coach of the Year in his 2nd season as the coach of the Washington Redskins. So 3rd and long now. 3rd and 11. The ball back to the 47. Schrader has the pocket hold up well again. Takes it in. Can't do a thing with it. And he gets back to close to the line of scrimmage. Maybe he loses about a yard. A punting situation with the Raiders. Lee Williams finally collapsing, but initially the pocket was there for Schrader.
But you know, you listen to the boos in the crowd and you say, you throw the ball away in a situation like that and it's intercepted, they go bananas. Instead, there was nothing there, and let's give the defensive back some credit for good coverage. You pull it down, you don't throw the interception. The same people have nothing better to do than boo. Well, they pay their way in, they take their choice.
Corey Harris is waiting back for the punt. The rookie from Vanderbilt. Gossett trying to find the corner. Does he accomplish that? Yes, he does. Inside the 5. Great job by Jeff Gossett. It's outside of the 2-yard line where it's going to be spotted, and that's where the Oilers will have it. Well, we return for their first offensive series of the day. 8:51 left the first 15 minutes of play. No score so far at the Coliseum. For the Raiders, pinning Houston back in deep in their own territory at the 2-yard line. His average last year was 44 yards, and his first punt of the day exactly 44 yards. So the veteran going for the corner, and he gets the job done. And the quarterback, Warren Moon, the Hamilton High School graduate, his 9th year with the Oilers after 5 years in the Canadian Football League. Very impressive numbers in the preseason. Exceptional last year when he led the NFL in passing yardage. And the carry is safety. The Raiders get their running back, Lorenzo White, in the backfield before he can get across the goal line. A safety for Howie Long and the Raiders. That's penetration.
That deserves a second look. Long out there on the left-hand side. Good job by 56 Bruce stringing it out, giving the back no way to cut inside or out. He tried to go outside. Howie's got surprising speed for a 270-pounder. Good way to start it off on defense.
His 12th year from Villanova. Howie Long scoring the first 2 points of the day for the Raiders. The 2 points going to the 6-time Pro Bowler.
Fundamentally, you tell your running backs when you're running out of the end zone, you got to be running straight ahead. You can't get your shoulders turned sideways. That gives the Raiders a lead of 2-0 early in the first quarter.
NFL trying to juke people. He'll sacrifice yardage going towards the sideline.
Can't do it.
No, I know, but that's a good point. He's always been that type of running back. The safety, the big play by Howie Long catching White in the end zone, but another positive, a big one, Al.
Well, it's the only scoring play in football where you score points and you get the ball back. So you have the potential for 5, getting a field goal if you get good position coming down, or 9 if you can take it down and get a touchdown.
One of the best punters in the NFL. They used a 3rd-round draft choice in '88 for Greg Montgomery out of Michigan State. You can understand why. He is very good and sends out a beauty. Tim Brown waiting for it. He'll take it just inside his 20 at the 19-yard line. They set it up the middle, but it never develops as he's banged with a flag down in the play near the 32. Corey Harris, the wide receiver, one of the first ones down there. And Spencer Tillman trying to get Harris out of the altercation.
Corey Harris with a stop for Tim Brown.
There's 7 of them out there.
So Tick Hantak has already told us to hold on the return team, the Raiders. It'll be marked off inside the 30-yard line.
Holding on the return, number 43, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Called that one an Elvis Patterson. They put the crews together. In the last 2 preseason games, they're working as crews, the same way they'll be during the league season, which starts next Sunday.
Second series, the running backs are the same, split behind Schrader. Steve Smith, the fullback. The tailback, Eric Dickerson. Now there's split. Horton, the tight end, and a single to each side. 1st and 10 from the 21. Wide open over the middle. Willie Gauld has a first down for the Raiders past the 35. And again, outstanding protection for Jay Schrader to look at a couple of different options.
Here we see Gauld. Notice how he's looking to the inside, and people think that you look one way and go the other. Sometimes you go the way you initially look. That was a zone, and Willie was really just searching for an open space. You got to find a spot between people and then kind of settle in there. 17-yard gain on that throw by Jay Schrader.
So solid field position to work from now near the 38-yard line with Horton in motion. The pitch to the near side for Dickerson. Tried to get it outside. Good lateral pursuit down the line by Houston. It's only to the 41-yard line. Gain of a little more than 3. Lathan, the linebacker. Good group defensively for the Houston Oilers and Richard Johnson. And they're also missing once again today the holdouts, Chris Dishman and William Fuller, the former Ram. Fuller came over to the Oilers in a trade back in '86 that sent Jim Everett to the Rams. Now, when you look at those two missing, big number 95, William Fuller, and Chris Dishman, the cornerback, they're missing just about, well, it's exactly 25 sacks from last year. 2nd and a little more than 6. Dickerson, the quick hitter. close to the first down for the Raiders across the 45.
Excellent job by Steve Smith in making the adjustment, picking up the way the Oilers defended that. Let's see if we can find that block. Steve Smith coming in there, that's called a wham. Just got enough of the hip. And what was done there, they let the defensive lineman come in. Almost ran himself out of the play. Let him come in and take him from an odd angle by a back crossing over to get him. Linemen love to see that open space and say, me get quarterback.
It's at the 48-yard line where it's a first down for the Raiders. They're second on this series. The fake on the pitch. Schrader looking up top over the middle. It's available, and Willie Galt's got another first down inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line. Galt, one of his favorite targets last week, getting action early today.
Schrader setting up. Well, that's a tough mental adjustment. You fake the ball with your back to the receivers and then quickly have to get your eyes upfield, read the coverage, pick out your target. Schrader is now 4 for 4 for 50 yards.
Sounds like the numbers we were talking about at the start of the second half last week for Todd Marinovich. So a good start for Jay Schrader today. 1st and 10 from the 33. Dickerson jitterbugging his way into the secondary. He's got about 7. Down to the 26. He's short of the first down by 3. Orlando, the free safety, and the cornerback Richard Johnson combining on that.
Fast, you don't have a chance for that to develop.
The number is very similar in the first half statistically on the offensive side for the Raiders to what we saw last Saturday against the Washington Redskins. But the Raiders victimized by turnovers in that game as there's movement up front and jumping off Ray Childress, the left tackle. So the cadence possibly picking up a first down. The calls of Jay Schrader and the inflection in his voice getting Childress to jump, and it's going to be on Houston.
Defense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And the Raiders shifted some of the receivers on that set too.
So from their own 21, it's now at the Oilers 21, bouncing it outside. Dickerson taken down. It looked like it was going to be a big gain, but a sure-handed tackle by a former Ram and a former teammate of Eric Dickerson's, Jerry Gray, in his 8th year from Texas, getting him around the ankles. So a Longhorn getting a Mustang. Gray from Texas, Dickerson from SMU, and after all is said and done, a gain of 2 for Dickerson and the Raiders. 2nd and 8.
Good blocking up front. Right guard Max Montoya. He had to leave the game earlier with an elbow hyperextension, but it's not a serious problem. Came back in the ball game.
Raiders controlling the ball in the first quarter of play. 11 minutes gone by, still no score. It's 2nd and 8 from the 19. Schrader on the drop. Has time, has a man wide open. Touchdown Raiders and Willie Galt. He burned Jerry Gray, the cornerback on that one.
19-yard completion from Schrader to Willie Galt. See that Schrader has been 5 for 5, 69 yards and 1 touchdown. Raiders now ahead 9-0 if we get this extra point on the basis of the safety. As we said earlier, the safety gives you the ball back and a chance to get a 9-point possession.
So the Raiders travel 79 yards. Jeff Jager out of the hold of Jeff Gossett. Down the middle it goes. And it's been all LA so far. 3:55 left in the first quarter. The Raiders increase their lead. This time the offense putting points on the board. The Raiders 9 and the Oilers nothing.
With no help. It's tough to do that with someone as quick and as fast as a Willie Galt.
And we can see on that last play the safety actually bit on the break by Mervin Fernandez. As Willie was in the slot, he went for the wide man. And bringing it back, it's going to be Corey Harris from the 3-yard line for the Oilers. The rookie from Vanderbilt tripped up, maintains his footing, and he's on his way past the 30. Fernandez after him, and he's knocked out of bounds by Mervin Fernandez. Or check that, not Fernandez, 46 Torin Doran, not 86, after the 41-yard return by the 3rd-round draft choice out of Vanderbilt, Corey Harris. Now, he was a running back his last couple of years. He set a school rushing record for running backs with over for the Oilers and Moon now at their own 43, 1st and 10. And Moon has time, hitting the receiver. It's complete out near the midfield stripe, taking it in. Leonard Harris, no relation to Corey Harris, in his 7th year from Texas Tech. And Torin Dorn led the Oilers to their first division title outright since 1967. Long time to wait for an outright title. 2nd and 3 from the 49. Lorenzo White headed for a first down, and he's just across the marker. He's got the first down inside the 47 of the Raiders. Anthony Bell on the hit.
Just the one running back.
They have trips to the near side. Haywood Jeffries, the only one to the far side. Now he's joined by Leonard Harris. As Moon is throwing on first down, has time and throws a little bit wide of the motion man Leonard Harris.
The ball not to establish the run. They throw the ball because that's the way they live. Quarterback Moon, who's got mobility, no longer runs. They can't risk not having him in the ball game.
Their backups Cody Carlson, who we'll see a little bit later, and also Bucky Richardson, a rookie from Texas A&M. Movement by Howie Long, flags into the air, a free down for Moon, and a wide receiver that's easily wide open for a first down. Taking it in, Ernest Gibbons. In his 7th year from Louisville. Or check that, Leonard Harris again, 83, not 81. Favorite target early. He's got the first down.
Offside.
You'll see the
Defense
movement
number 75 in the neutral zone at the time of the snap. Penalty is declined. First down.
Howie tried not to touch the defensive man because that kills the ball, and that's the automatic 5 yards. But if you're in that neutral zone, the space designated by the length of the football, when the ball is snapped, you are encroaching. That's 5 yards.
I love those uniforms with those powder blue numbers, so easy to read from up here. And none of those receivers look the same. All about 5'8" as it's fumbled by Moon on the first down snap. He loses a couple of yards, but none of those receivers look the same for the Houston Oilers, of course, all going about 5'7" to 5'9", with the exception of Haywood Jeffries. He's a giant out there at 6 feet. White, the single set. Gibbons going in motion. 3 on the top of your screen now. Pressure coming. Moon getting away. Firing, and a first down. No, just short of the first down, but what a job by Warren Moon just to get the ball into the hands of Ernest Gibbons. First, it looked like Aaron Wallace was going to get, as well as Anthony Smith was going to get, the quarterback Warren Moon.
You see this on the second look, the athletic ability of Warren Moon. Great rush by 94 Smith.
And
Ducks
check.
under Howie.
Yes.
You know, those defensive people have all those pads on their hands. It's tough for them to grab and hang on to the jersey, but if they don't wear all those pads, they're going to spend a lot of time on the sideline with cracked fingers, broken knuckles.
Well, 35-year-old Warren Moon may not be that quick going downfield, but he's shifty in the backfield. Now it's 3rd and 3. The ball at the 28. Moon with the short drop and a wide open Ernest Gibbons or Leonard Harris again. He's got the first down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
Pickoff possibilities. It's tough to cover them underneath.
9-0 Raiders. Final 10 seconds of the first quarter. Trips to the far side, the top of your screen, near side, Lorenzo White. Huge hole into the secondary, close to another first down. And I believe he's got it on the final play of the first quarter. Yes, he's inside the 9, down to the 8. So when we come back for the first play of the second quarter, it's going to be 1st and goal for the Oilers as they trail the Raiders by 9.
15 offensive plays, 103 yards. Excellent drive quarterback by Jay Schrader, who completed 5 for 5. Raiders had the ball for about 11 minutes of the 15 minutes of the first quarter.
It'll be 1st and goal now for the Oilers, just outside of the Raiders 8. Be interesting to watch this run and shoot now without much room to work as they go with trips to the near side, the bottom of your screen. Lorenzo White, the single set behind Warren Moon. It's a 9-0 Raider lead. Great penetration again by Anthony Smith. Still, the running back gets inside the 9 as Smith just couldn't hang on to the jersey, and he takes it down to the 6. So it's a gain of about 2.5 yards.
Second look. Good recovery by 59 Andre Bruce, who was flowing with the play. You know, you could let up when somebody else looks like they make the tackle. You don't survive in this league if you do that often. You've got to play the play. Wait till the whistle, gang tackle, everybody get to the football.
And exceptional balance displayed by the running back Lorenzo White. Former Michigan State Spartan in his 5th year. Again, the single set on 2nd and goal from the 6. Moon on the delay to White. Wrapped up in the backfield, hanging on Howie Long. No gain on that carry. It'll again be 3rd and goal, still at the 6.
The strength of Howie Long anywhere he plays in there is quickness. Watch the move. Quickness. Quick start, throws a defensive man aside, gets to the football. Howie's been playing since 1981. He was the only player on this squad who ever was an Oakland Raider, but Howie works hard, stays in shape, and really doesn't show the age at all. Just learns and applies what he learns.
You saw Lorenzo White just 2 years ago. He was 4th on the depth chart. We'll get to that story in just a second. Big 3rd down, 3rd and goal from the 6. Moon in the short drop over the middle, has a man, and it's dropped in the end zone. Torrin Dorn was all turned around, but Leonard Harris couldn't hang on for the score.
You saw there the quick hand of Warren Moon. He can unload the football so quickly when he makes a decision. There again, Howie going around, picked up pressure from the outside, but Moon just snaps the ball off.
Aldel Greco, who came in last year just after the beginning of the season, 7 games in, after they had cut Ian Howfield, former Phoenix Cardinal, in for the 24-yard field goal attempt, and he gets the Oilers on the board. As Del Greco is now 8 of 9 of the season in the field goal department. The Oilers finally get on the board with 3 from Del Greco, trail by 6 with 13:20 left in the first half. Picked up by Howie Long, wrapping up the running back Lorenzo White, and a touchdown pass, a 19-yarder from Jay Schrader to Willie Gault. Just before we broke away, first points of the day, Del Greco is kicking it away now for the Oilers, a 24-yard field goal, and it's taken by Sam Grady. He's popped in the head, still gets another 3 or 4 yards. That's the 20 to the 25-yard line, a tough way to get an extra 3 yards and another time out of the field. So the Raiders have it back, and they've got a 6-point lead when we return with 13:11 left in the first half. The Raider executive assistant Al LOCASALE. The Raiders by 6, a little more than 13 minutes left in the first half on another warm, sunny day in Southern California. And the Raiders have it now. 1st and 10, their own 25. Same unit that's been out there, with the exception of Todd Pete, who's in there right now for Max Montoya. Over on the right side, Dickerson in the backfield is the single set. And Fernandez and Gault, the wideouts. First down give. Dickerson banging his way ahead. Gets 5 on the carry to the 30-yard line.
Todd Pete is in at a tackle spot. We were in an unbalanced set with an extra lineman on the right-hand side.
They brought Steve Smith out, and they're going with the hurry-up offense now. So getting ready for the regular season. The Raiders mixing things up, trying some different looks. They stay with the unbalanced line over to the right side. Now it's Dickerson to the left side, breaking tackles and close to another first down, just short of the 35-yard line.
Again, this is the last opportunity a team has to try some things and see them on game film. And also, you know that your opponent, in our case, the Denver Broncos, are going to be watching this too. Good decision by Eric. Where he wanted to go was clogged up. He's got 41 yards on 10 carries.
Yeah, 20 on 93 in the first half last week. It's 3rd and less than a yard. Dickerson hopping over a couple of Oilers that had penetrated. He's got the first down. A couple of nifty moves outside the 35 to the 38-yard line.
In the last preseason game, you have a temptation to use a few different things, different alignments, to worry the team you're going to be playing the next week in the league opener. Make them work on some things that you may not do much of.
They stay in that hurry-up offense, the no-huddle offense, as Dickerson gets some good blocking over to the right side and is across the 43 to the 44 near the 45-yard line. Flags down, though, on the carry of close to 7 yards for Eric Dickerson, but they really sealed off the area between the hash marks and open things up over to the right side for Dickerson.
Dickerson out of the ball game, either tired. I think he indicated that he got popped in those ribs that he had injured earlier.
Holding. Offense, number 65, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
Called that one on Max Montoya. You know, we talk about the other teams that you'll play looking at these films. They get the videotapes of your last 3 ball games. You get the tapes of their last 3 ball games. So there's not much you can hide. That's a mandatory exchange required by the National Football League.
And again, the Raiders top heavy. That unbalanced line over to the right side. Short drop by Schrader, has a man available. It's Willie Gault to the 45, and the completion gets the penalty yardage back and then some. 17 yards up to the 46.
You know, you'll read a lot of things about Gault. Toughness is not one of the things you read. Those people are wrong.
Well, that was the book coming over from the Chicago Bears, Al. You bring up a good point because everybody said Willie has alligator arms going over the middle, does not like to go over the middle.
Well, you know, he's not Mike Ditka, but he doesn't have to be.
Second and just about 3. Schrader a perfect 6 for 6. Ethan Horton in motion. Nick Bell, his first carry of the day, and he's right at the first down marker. It'll depend upon the spot. May need a measurement on this one. Out to the 48-yard line. Lee Williams wrapping up the running back.
The Schrader 6 for 6, 85 yards so far.
The Raiders lead it by 6, and now they will ask for a measurement.
You know, we've only played halfway through the second quarter, and every type of score you can get in the ball game has already occurred. Touchdown, field goal, safety, extra point.
Do they have enough? No.
For as long as I can remember in the National Football League. Chicago firm, and they had a connection with George Halas, who founded and was the owner of the Bears, and that's where the relationship started.
3rd and just inches now for the Raiders, about 6 to 8 inches for the first down. Again, strong to the right side. The counter, and Nick Bell breaks tackles for the first down into Houston territory to the order 47-yard line. Going to the first down for the Raiders.
Good pop inside. Good takeoff in there. Notice how Montoya straightened his man up. Bell just knows this is a situation. Shoulders forward, head down, get the yardage, move the chains, keep the football.
When you need inches, it's nice to have a 6'2", 250-pound fullback type running back who's got tailback speed. That's Nick Bell in his 2nd year from Iowa. 2nd round pick last year. 1st and 10 for the 47. All day for Schrader. Looking for another option. Ethan Horton just overthrowing the tight end at the 36 of Houston.
First incompletion of the afternoon for Jay Schrader.
Exceptional protection again, though, by the offensive line.
Report from the bench. Dickerson has bruised ribs. His return is probable. Raiders are looking at some different combinations with the backs in today's ball game.
8:55 left in the first half. The Raiders leading at 9-3. They continue to go with a no-huddle offense. It's 2nd and 10 now at the 47. Bell the only back. 3-step drop, and the quick one for Willie Gault, who's smothered by the defensive back Richard Johnson, but still hangs on to it in a reception at the 41.
You know, on this play, you'll see Jay Schrader in a situation that backfired last week. This is like falling off a horse and getting back on. You got to do it. Go out there and throw that quick, where he had less than great success last week with the 2 interceptions.
That was the 2nd interception, if I'm not mistaken, by Martin Mayhew on that identical pattern for Jay Schrader. As Mayhew returned 2 for touchdowns against the Raider quarterback. Now it's 3rd and 5. Schrader, the pump fake, going deep. His receiver Fernandez was held up a little bit. He's questioning the call, no call actually, because he thought he was bumped a little bit too much around the 20-yard line.
A lot of Raider coaches out there trying to suggest to the officials that flag should have gone down.
Hey, give up
So the drive that started at the Raider 25 stalls now at the Houston 45. And Jeff Gossett in to punt it away. Corey Harris back deep again for Houston. Their rookie from Vanderbilt, who's seen a lot of playing time early today and has been in the preseason due to the holdout by Curtis Duncan, who finally is ready for today's game. He's going for the corner again. It was successful last time, and again he gets it out of bounds inside the 5, and for the second time it's down to the 2, and a fight breaks out on the near side in front of the Raider bench. 40 yards on the punt by Gossett. He's got that one down now. The low line drive, coffin corner. Be right back at the Coliseum. Exactly 8 minutes left of the first half. The Raiders still up by 6.
On this every day with special team coach Steve Ortmeyer. Gossett is out there with Jeff Jaeger on a separate field, all by themselves, working on these kind of things. Jaeger works on the onside kicks, variety of those. Gossett works on placing the ball out of bounds, on pooching the ball short. You know, he went to the wide side of the field. The hash marks, that is the markers that indicate where you have to put the ball in play, in pro football are much narrower than college, but the kicker would prefer to be kicking across the field where he has a larger margin of error than kicking to the near sideline, where if he's off a bit, the ball hurriedly gets out of bounds. You don't get the yardage you want.
So the penalty takes it half the distance from the 2 to the 1, and the Raiders come out with 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. A 4-2-5 alignment for the Raiders. As they go with 3 wide receivers to the right side, and going back to the same side, Ernest Gibbons, the motion man. Lorenzo White, big hole up the middle, and breathing room to the 8-yard line. 7 on the carry.
You knew after that safety on the very first possession by Houston, where on a play like that, White bounced it outside and Howie Long got to him in the end zone, that he was going to stay up inside on this one.
That was a characteristic of his going back to his college days, sideline to sideline running by Lorenzo White. And I mentioned earlier, didn't finish up that story, just 2 years ago, White was the 4th man of the depth chart behind Alonzo Highsmith, Mike Rozier, and Alan Pinkett for the Oilers. Well, those 3 are gone now, and the job is Lorenzo White's, the 5th year back from Michigan, a first-round pick in '88. Michigan State. Lorenzo White again bouncing outside. He's got the first down across the 15 to the 16-yard line.
Ronnie Lott coming up from safety to fill, make the tackle. See here, the linebacker kind of looks inside, gets caught when he bounces out, and here comes Lott. Lott is still a load. 10-year All-Pro defensive back, picked up a year ago by Plan B by Al Davis and the Raiders. Have another guy back there now, also from the 49ers, Waymer, who's starting, Dave Waymer, in the absence of injured Eddie Anderson at safety.
6:35 left of the first half. Oilers with it, down by 6. It's underneath and it's complete. Leonard Harris has it again, the completion of the 20-yard line.
Strong side, on the side they're running toward, to get your hands down. They want to keep the defensive lineman's hands down so Moon can see and unload quickly.
2nd and 6. Moon out of the shotgun. Available over the middle. Harris can't hang on. He felt Ronnie Lott coming over.
He sure did. The ground trembled. These are the kind of plays that safety men love. When the ball's in the air, the receiver's concentrating, and it's go get 'em time. I mean, he was staring right at Lott. He couldn't miss him. He knew, here comes 42.
And he could possibly see a helmet going right into his sternum. So it's now 3rd and 6 at the 20. Under 6 minutes left in the first half. Can they convert deep in their own territory? Howie Long jumps on the left side. A free down for the Oilers. Moon is going to be sacked. Anthony Smith again gets to the quarterback. Cleaning up late, Nolan Harrison. But it's going to be 3rd and a yard, I believe, after the penalty on Howie Long. Was he drawn up? I don't think so. It was on Howie. Number 75 jumping off. So instead of a sack and the Oilers punting from near their own goal line, now it's 3rd and 1.
Howie Long will be playing every position in the defensive line in the alignments that the Raiders use in the work of defensive line coach Earl Leggett. He moves looking for mismatches both on the blackboard or personnel wise.
Lorenzo White, I don't know if he got it. He's right at the marker. He may have missed it by about a half a yard. The linesman comes in with a spot and he's short of the 21. If that holds up, then the Raiders do hold on 3rd and a yard. He needed to go to the 21-yard line. Well, that point you bring up, so they can't key on Howie, can't double up consistently on Howie Long.
That's part of it. And again, you're trying to create some indecision on the part of the offensive blockers. If you have to think, there's an old rule about paralysis by analysis. And when they have to think, it makes it a lot harder for them to fire out and be aggressive. But you're looking for the mismatch, the guy who physically can't handle Howie one-on-one, to get help, to make him get help, to tie some people up, to give you other opportunities, and to never let the quarterback and the offensive coordinator calling the plays be certain as to where he might be. Offenses try to find formations that will control the movement of your people and get into something that puts them where they want it.
Front seven did the job. They held the Oilers on 3rd and a yard. Montgomery in to punt it away. And Tim Brown waiting back at the Raiders 33. Good hang time from the 34. Tim Brown taking to the sideline. A flag on the play. Brown could see the flag thrown as he heads down the sideline. He'll take it in, but it looks like a blocking call against the Raiders. As out of frustration, Tim Brown spikes it into the end zone, knowing it's going to be called back.
An excellent block at the start, and then utilized it. Good lane, good disciplined return planning by, again, special team coach Steve Wortmeyer and Doug Wilkerson, who works with him.
Was it possibly called on number 44, Dave Waymer? We'll find out. But still a
illegal
plus.
block on return, number 44. First down.
Yeah, it was called on Dave Waymer.
So it's all brought back. It would have been a 66-yard punt return for touchdown for Tim Brown. Instead, Raiders have it 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line, still leading by 6.
On schedule.
Raiders lead it by 6 and have it back. 1st and 10 at their own 33. 4:33 left in the first half. And it's going to be Steve Smith getting past the linebackers up to the 40-yard line. A gain of 7 on that carry. Bo Orlando, the free safety. His 3rd year from West Virginia, making the stop.
Steve Smith, a 3rd-round draft choice a number of years ago out of Penn State. Married to a former Raiderette, and they have 2 lovely children.
Outstanding blocking back for the Raiders. Started every game last year. He's in front of Nick Bell. He joined us late. Slight rib injury for Eric Dickerson, expected to return though, as Bell finds a little bit of a seam. He's got a first down over the right side. The 45, make it the 46-yard line. It was 2nd and 3, and just about 6 on the carry for Nick Bell.
Good lead block here by Smith, clearing up through the hole. Excellent block by 66 Steve Wright at right tackle. Sealed the hole of the inside with Max Montoya. Let the big guy run.
Encouraging signs, Al, despite the fact that the Raiders have not picked up a win and were so close last week against Washington, that there has been progress from week to week.
In every area, the special teams this week look at their best. The offensive line the last 2 weeks, the running game, throwing the ball well, playing good defense. We're growing.
If you joined us late, Dickerson with 10 carries for better than 40 yards, as Steve Smith takes it between the 2 hash marks, gets 3 more. The 46 past the 49 before he's wrapped up by the left side linebacker, Lamar Lathan. 3rd-year backer from Houston, a 1st-round pick at 90. Jay Schrader looking for the play from the sideline. And with an injured Oiler down, there is a timeout of the field. We will take one as well. 2:45 left in the first half. The Raiders still maintaining that 6-point margin. Like maybe a pinched nerve. He was trying to work his neck over to the left side a little bit. So taking over at the right tackle spot now, number 94, Glenn Montgomery, a 5th-round pick of the Oilers back in '89. He replaces Doug Smith as Ethan Horton goes in motion. on second and just about 7 for the Raiders. Time for Schrader again on the design roll, and it's batted away just slightly from Mervin Fernandez. Good play by the cornerback on that side. Steve Jackson, second-year man from Purdue.
Jackson hung in tight on the coverage there. And again, the closer the receiver gets to the sideline, the less territory there is for the defensive back to cover.
So now it's going to be third. And still just about 7 yards from the 49. They need to take it inside the 44 of Houston.
2:20 left to play in the second quarter.
3 wide receivers. And that brings the nickel package out for the Oilers in the secondary. 5 defensive backs. Ethan Horton joins Nick Bell in the backfield. They're both blocking for Schrader, but it doesn't do any good. He's wrapped up. The sack for Lee Williams. Big number 97, a specialist for so long with the San Diego Chargers, 2-time Pro Bowler, but he had only 3 sacks last year.
You see here the quarterback doesn't really get a lot of time. He sets, and here comes the pressure. Third down, don't lose the football, squeeze it, we'll punt, play defense, and try to get it back.
And we're about to reach the 2-minute warning. We will get that before the Raiders punt the ball away. And we'll be right back at the Coliseum with exactly 2 minutes left in the first 30 minutes of play, with the Raiders on top of the Oilers by 6.
With TNT next Sunday in Denver, then Sunday the 13th in Cincinnati, and home opener Cleveland the 20th of September.
The rookie from Vanderbilt, you're just looking at Corey Harris waiting for the punt from Jeff Gossett back inside his own 20. And Gossett sends out a beauty inside the 10. It'll be taken to the 8-yard line. Giving up ground, Harris maneuvering his way across the 15. Not a bad return considering where he had it, and the Raiders getting downfield in such a hurry. A solid return to get it past the 18, close to the 19. 10 yards on the return after a booming 50-yard punt by Jeff Gossett. Exploring that thought.
Mike's into his second season. He was the defensive captain of the Sacramento Surge in the World League this spring and played 12 or 13 games in the spring.
So now another try for Corey Harris, and another beautiful punt by Gossett. A duplicate as it's bobbled by Harris, and a break for the Raiders. Believe it or not, after they had a penalty marked off against them. Instead, about near the 19. Now Houston's got it back inside their own 10 at the 5-yard line.
Now you create a situation where the defense, Art Shell there with Steve Wertmeyer, special team coach, the defense may want to use some of its timeouts between plays to get the ball back with some time on the clock and good field position. It hit his hands. It's a muff, but he still has to come up with a football or his team's in trouble.
A 58-yard boomer. 58 yards by Gossett.
Chased out by number 20, Derek Hoskins, a rookie.
This is the 3rd time in 4 possessions for the Oilers. They start from either their own 5 or inside their own 5-yard line. Wide open, Haywood Jeffries, his first reception, gets out of bounds to stop the clock at the 11. The gain of 6 on that pass from Moon. Lionel Washington forcing him out.
Report from John Kingdon, Raider scouting department administrator, on Dickerson. Eric has bruised ribs. He could return, but will be held out for the balance of the ball game because there's nothing to be gained by playing him. When you've gained 12,000 yards, you know how to run.
6 defensive backs in there now when you consider that Torrin Dorn, number 46, is setting up in almost like a linebacker's spot, picking up the motion man. Out of the shotgun, Moon. 2nd and 4 against the sideline. Did Jeffries drag the feet? Yes, he did. Very effectively at the 24 for a Houston first down. 14 of the reception, stopping the clock with a minute 24 left in the half.
We'll watch it again, but remember the officials can't. There's no instant replay in the National Football League in 1992.
To the dismay of many.
Well, that one would have been a play that particular view would not have helped an official make the call.
It would have been basically inconclusive. Minute 24 left in the half, first down. Oilers sending Leonard Harris in motion. He's been working the crossing patterns, and again over the middle. It's behind the intended target, Ernest Gibbons. He had 70 receptions last year, 7th best in the AFC for Houston.
Andre Bruce, number 59, closest defender. And when you think about the fact that Bruce has been a linebacker before, the Raiders have moved him to defensive end, but in situations like this, he can go back up and play it as a linebacker. That gives you some versatility in that you don't have to tip to the offense what defense you're going to be in. You've got a guy in there who can play either down or up, and so how you play is a surprise to the defense, to the offense.
Don't forget, 3 timeouts remain for each team. Raiders get back in time. No flags. And it's Gibbons dropping the ball this time at the 33. Would have been short of the first down by a couple of yards. Aaron Wallace trying to keep up with the coverage. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 now, and 1:14 left in the first 30 minutes of play. The Raiders by 6. And if they hold here, they will get the ball back and an opportunity in good field position. Howie Long has departed now, so the Raiders going with 3 down linemen and 6 defensive backs.
The Oilers have yet to go deep, and you can't forget that they have that kind of speed and capability.
3rd and 10 from the 24 of Houston. Pocket holds up and wide open. It's a first down. Curtis Duncan, his first game of the preseason after holding out, takes it in. He's in his 6th year from Northwestern. Turned out nicely for Houston, the former 10th round. They have trips to the wide side. That turns out to be the near side of the field with the ball on the right hash. And again, out of the shotgun, it's Warren Moon. No pressure on the quarterback. And the receiver is available again for the first down into Los Angeles territory. It's Ernest Gibbons. 20 yards on that catch. Lionel Washington providing the coverage.
Again, the receiver rolling out of bounds to stop the clock.
You're almost caught in the middle. When you go with the dime package, you don't get enough pressure on Moon, and he has time to set up.
Well, it's not always the pressure sometimes. It's giving him the throwing lane. Like there, he had the whole left side of the field with nobody between him and seeing any receiver he wanted to throw to. You have to have some balance in the positioning of your rush.
58 seconds remaining in the first half. Down to the 38 of the Raiders. 1st and 10 for the Oilers. They're down by 6. Delay. Lorenzo White. Huge hole. Inside the 30. Diving for the first down, and he's got it to the 27-yard line.
Not only diving for the first down, trying to work his way to the sideline to save the timeout. He didn't get there. The Oilers had to take their timeout. 1.
This drive started back at the Houston 5 with less than 2 minutes to play. Now they've got it 1st and 10 outside of the Raiders 27 with 48 seconds remaining. 2 timeouts left and a man over the middle. Touchdown. No, it's dropped by Ernest Gibbons in the end zone. What a throw by Warren Moon, though.
Well, the Raiders came with extra people on that one. You'll see they came with 5 rushers, and that tightened the coverage to single coverage in spots, and that's when Moon decided we take the shot deep on this one.
This is a yard's timeout to Houston. Their 2nd timeout.
Good throw, but he did not have possession when he went to the ground. The Oilers took a timeout. That's their 2nd. They've got 1 left. You'd like to hold on to 1 so that you've got it to set up your field goal. Gibbons on that bounce. You know, you bounce sometimes with the ball underneath you.
Raiders again with the dime. 6 defensive backs in there. 4 up front. Only 1 linebacker as well. And the 1 linebacker, Anthony Bell. Moon hitting Duncan, who looked like he may have pushed off on the cornerback, and then alarmed by the arrival of the ball. He wasn't ready for it.
And the Oilers have 12 wide receivers on their roster out of 60 players, but with the cut down coming up Monday,
starting receivers,
and not have them working themselves with too much of their time imitating the other team's receivers. And you need to have 8 of your own to have 2 sets imitating the Oilers when you get ready to play them.
3rd and 10 from the 28 if they don't convert. It'll be about a 46-yard field goal attempt for Al Del Greco. Moon out of the shotgun. Pressure coming, and he's sacked from behind by Nolan Harrison. Take the field goal even further back now for the try coming up from Del Greco.
Moon's got time early, but outstanding coverage. Here comes 74 Harrison around the corner, got outside his blocker. Willie Broughton, 87, put pressure on from the left. The key was the coverage. Moon wanted to go early, and there was nowhere to go, and as he held the ball, Harrison closed in. That one, you know, pleased Raider head coach Art Shell.
So it's a loss of just about 6 yards, back to the 34. It'll bring up a 51-yard field goal attempt for Al Del Greco.
Kept some of those people with him. Concentrates on defensive philosophy himself. Lets the offensive people do their job.
And now Greg Montgomery, the holder, is going to set it up at the 42. A 52-yard try. Trying to match his career best. Al Del Greco. Does he have the distance? Yes, just barely. He has matched his career best. And he has accounted for all 6 points of the first half for the Houston Oilers after hitting a 24-yarder earlier.
And you look at that score at 9-6, and you might think there were 5 field goals. There weren't. The Raiders had a safety for 2 points and a touchdown on a pass from Schrader to Galt. The extra point.
Of Jeff Gossett. Their 4 drives started at their own 2, 1, 5-yard lines, as well as at their own 43.
Actually, the Raiders received the initial kickoff, pardon me, so that they will not start with possession in the second half.
Tyrone Montgomery back deep along with Sam Grady at the bottom of your screen. And the line drive kick away from Grady to Tyrone Montgomery, the rookie from Mississippi. Takes it across the 25 and is tripped up there at the 26-yard line.
That only ran 5 seconds off the clock because in the final 2 minutes of either half, the clock does not start on a kickoff return. Orleans 27-10.
Steve Smith wrapped up in a hurry. Lunges ahead. It's close to the 30-yard line. And that'll be the final play of the first half. So the Raiders will not stop the clock deep in their own territory. And they'll head to the locker room with a 3-point lead. It's halftime at the Coliseum. And the Raiders lead the Oilers 9-6.
8 yards and the 1 touchdown. Willie has now caught 15 passes in the 4 preseason games, only playing about a half of each ball game. In 1991, while playing 16 games in their entirety, he had just 20 receptions.
Oilers ready to get it after the kickoff by Jeff Jager. It'll be Darrell Lewis from West Covina, young man, number 29, who played his college ball at Arizona, and also Spencer Tillman, a Plan B signing with the Oilers. And the short kick is going to be taken by an up man who doesn't normally see the running all that often, and the big lineman is taking it past the 40. Is bringing it back Glenn Montgomery, who came in for Doug Smith. And Glenn Montgomery
Raiders
plays right tackle.
Offsides on the kickoff, but all likelihood the Oilers will choose the return.
So Houston will have it outside of their own 44. Normally you see those big guys sometimes in high school football carrying the ball like that.
Well, one of the things with most teams, for instance, the Raiders, in our 4-man wedge, 3 of the 4 are fullbacks. So you have got people in there who are used to carrying the football. The 4th is Dan Turk, a center, who was used to handling the football, because the key is to not fumble the ball, not drop the ball.
This is the best position to start a drive so far today for the Oilers. Their first of the second half, their own 44. Ernest Givens in motion. And Moon has time and throws it well behind Haywood Jeffries. A trio of Raider defenders converging. Land and Derek Hoskins going after the ball.
There's a second defensive unit on the field right now for the Raiders, but a first offensive unit out there for the Oilers.
And decisions for both teams to be made, with both teams trimming their rosters down to 47 after this final preseason tune-up.
That'll be Monday, 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. For the Raiders to cut from presently in excess of 60 to 47. We have 4 World League players who don't count until the final cut.
2nd and 10 from their own 44. And the reserve running back gets it, Gary Brown, in his second year from Penn State. Inside give to the 50-yard line, a carry of 6. He was an 8th-round draft choice last year.
Take a look at this. One of the keys to this kind of a draw is the eyes of the quarterback. He looks downfield until the last second when he makes the handoff. The linebackers are reading his eyes. They see him staring downfield, so they keep backing up. That helps set the play up for the early yardage. There are a lot of little things in every play at every position.
So some of the reserves getting an opportunity now offensively for the Oilers as well. They stay with the first 4 wide receivers, but the second back is Gary Brown now blocking for Warren Moon on 3rd and 5, close to 4, and it falls incomplete. He was looking for Curtis Duncan. And the Raiders ready to get it back after 3 snaps and a punt coming up for the Oilers.
According to Director Howard Zuckerman, we are in dual isolation here, the wide receiver and the quarterback. Look at the timing. The ball is in the air well before the receiver makes the break. Well before the receiver makes the break.
And as you can see, another good throw by Warren Moon, but Duncan was just off balance, slipping down. So Greg Montgomery, another former Michigan State Spartan, ready to punt it away. It'll be Darrell Hobbs on the punt return back at the 10, and he'll let it sail over his head and into the end zone. So the Raiders, on their first possession of the second half, will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. We'll keep it right here. The Raiders with the ball and a 3-point lead.
You saw there the safety man. He can signal the fair catch even though he doesn't make an attempt to catch the ball. But once he's raised his hand and signaled fair catch, he cannot block anybody coming down, because those people then expect a fair catch, get blocked by surprise. That's how you can get an injury. The cheer you hear, second-year pro Todd Marinovich going in, hometown boy, played his college football here at the University of Southern California.
Marinovich has not thrown an interception in the preseason. He does have 1 touchdown toss. That was right here, a preseason game at the Coliseum last Saturday. Brady and Brown as wide receivers, and Derek Gaynor gets his first carry of the day. Takes it out to the 24, a gain of 4.
We said earlier the Raiders are going to look at some different combinations in the backfield. Got 7 running backs on the roster right now, and they've all got talent, trying to find the best ways of utilizing their talents, meshing them together into the unit, because the key now is to come up with the units that will open up against the Denver Broncos next Sunday night at Mile High Stadium.
The 2 wide receivers to the same side. Now Tim Brown going in motion with Grady in the slot. Marinovich with his first pass attempt of the day. It's complete to Tim Brown, who came across the middle, the motion man. And he was right at the first down marker. Gave up a little bit, though, and is going to be yards short at the 29. Brought down by a young man from St. Bernard's High School, Al Smith, the middle linebacker.
Raiders will have the extra tight end in. 2 extra tight ends now, going with number 82. Andrew Glover, second-year man out of Grambling, who had an excellent rookie year as a 10th-round draft choice, scored 3 touchdowns last year. And 88 Ethan Horton, converted from running back by Al Davis and the Raiders a number of years ago, a Pro Bowl tight end in 1991.
So blocking from Horton, Glover, and Jones, and the carry. Nick Bell bouncing outside. If he gets another block, he can go the distance. He gets the block from David Jones. There goes Bell down the sideline. And he goes the distance, 71 yards for the score.
Now that play looked exactly like Super Bowl 19 when Riggins broke for the touchdown that broke the back of the Miami Dolphins in that Super Bowl. Short yardage situation, popped it through and gone. Remember, this is a 250-pounder who finished 4th in the indoor 40 sprint in the Big Ten. Excellent blocking, great block kicking out by 27 Derek Gaynor. Off he goes. David Jones giving him a little hand downfield. He knows exactly how close those people are before he slows down. 71-yard run. The Raider record for the longest run, of course, the preseason plays don't count, is 92 yards by Bo Jackson.
Last week, a touchdown run of 8 yards for Bell against the Washington Redskins. And now the long one on 3rd and less than a yard. And Jeff Jager pushing it inside the right upright. Converts on the extra point. And the Raiders increase their lead to 10 now. It's Los Angeles 16 and Houston 6. Be right back to the Coliseum.
Took a little slug of oxygen when he got to the sideline. You know, hauling 250 pounds, more than 71 yards in this kind of heat is an effort.
Personal foul was called on Steve Wright on the extra point, so they'll kick off from the 20-yard line after the 15-yard mark off, and once again it's going to be Spencer Tillman back with Darrell Lewis. And it'll be the young man from West Covina, Lewis, from inside his own 20, weaving his way across the 30. A nice run back across the 35 out to the 37-yard line.
Tackled by 46 Doran Dorn and 37 Curtis. The Raiders now have a lead of 15-6, 16-6, 12 minutes to go in the third quarter. We've got girls who have been in medical school and lawyers and actresses and the like. Sandy has a very unusual profession. She is a stand-up comic. Appears at a lot of little clubs on the local circuit. Second-year Raiderette.
3 minutes into the second half. After the 71-yard run by Nick Bell, the Raiders lead by 10. And Moon throwing on first down. What a surprise as it's dropped by the wide receiver at the 45-yard line. Hello, Ernest Gibbons can't hang on. He dropped a beautiful pass if you joined us late in the first half. Dropped one to the end zone. It could have been 6 for Houston.
Take a look at this one. His concentration on keeping his feet in, and he kind of lost his concentration on the football. That's a throwback by design. Quarterback going one way, then throwing across the field. You see, he turned his eyes to look, where is the sideline? Am I going to be able to get my feet in? And the football kept coming.
Normally, you don't see a drop from someone who caught 70 last year, the 7th best total in the AFC. That's what happened to Gibbons, though, who's in motion this time on 2nd and 10 from outside the 37. Pocket holds up well for Moon. Wide open. He's got Harris. Leonard Harris inside the 30. A first down to the Raider 26-yard line. 36 on the catch.
Raiders dogged a linebacker who might be in that area, and good pickup by the blocking back. Gave Moon the time. Good route. Found a hole right in the middle. Now there, you know you're going to be hit. Catch the ball. You know, you get stung just as much if you don't catch it when somebody's coming like that. Catch the ball.
Coming over late, Sam Seal, but as you pointed out earlier, you work with some of the second and third stringers in the secondary to find out who is going to be a part of your team as they trim down to the final roster on Monday. 1st and 10 outside the 26 and bottled up. Only a yard and a half to the 25 is the running back, Gary Brown. He led the team last year during the preseason, but carried it only 8 times during the regular season.
Solid job underneath by Bob Golick, number 79. And when you're playing primarily pass defense against the Houston Oilers, your defensive linemen aren't in there as much. You're playing extra linebackers and extra defensive backs. So into the second half, Bob Golick still fresh.
Second and 9, 25-yard line of the Raiders. The Oilers down by 10. Time again for Moon behind his receiver, but this time Gibbons hangs on near the first down marker. I believe he's short by about a half a yard at the 17, just inside the 17. Brought down by the linebacker Michael Jones.
Ground level look. See Moon getting the time. You know, the Oilers have had an offensive line with 2 or 3 people making it to the Pro Bowl almost every year. One of the better pass protecting offensive lines in the entire National Football League.
Good point, because this game they have Mike Munchak back for the first time during the preseason, and he's a 7-time Pro Bowler. If he makes it this year, he will tie Elvin Bethea for an all-time Oiler record. They also have the former USC Trojan as their center, who's a 4-time Pro Bowler, Bruce Matthews, who went to Arcadia High School. 3rd and short, 3rd and less than a yard. And Moon is throwing for it. He's got it. Gibbons past the 5, inside the end zone, a touchdown for Ernest Gibbons. I thought the Raiders were going to close in as they were going to pin him towards the sideline, but nobody could get the speed of Ernest Gibbons. Touchdown Houston, a 17-yarder.
Looked like Doran Dorn, 46, defensive back out there for the Raiders, got his feet caught. in the turf.
A point away from drawing within 3 as Aldo Greco is in out of the hold of the punter. Montgomery. And he pulls it wide left.
You know, he might have crossed his mind, are they offsides or not? Lost his concentration, lost his direction. So with 9:24 gone in the third quarter, the Raider lead is now 4 points, 16-12. The Oilers had a quick strike, 5-play drive, good for 62 yards. On the pass, notice how Doran his feet went out from under him, couldn't make the tackle out on the outside, upfield in the end zone. The Oiler receivers are quick.
Del Greco kicking it away. Tyrone Montgomery and Sam Grady. This time it's going to be Grady from the goal line. And Grady is not going to make it past the 11. Good coverage by the Oilers special teams. Bo Orlando, the first one down there, the free safety.
The co-safety, Ty Montgomery, missed that first man down, and that makes any kind of return tough. You'll see it here. Grady gets the football, and the first man down does not get cut off at all. You've got to get by that first one. You got to get some help from the other safety and get by that first one to get to where the lane is setting up, where your blockers are going to try and be. A good experience here for Todd Marinovich, second-year pro, who only played in 2 league games last year, to work from right in front of his own end zone.
Worst field position to start a drive for the Raiders at the 10, and Marinovich is throwing. It's Nick Bell who can't hang on. He is popped by the end, and that is Lee. No, not Lee Williams 97, but instead number 91, the left side linebacker Johnny Means.
That's kind as a receiver, you'd rather not be stretched up that way with the ball at the top of your hands, knowing you're going to get hit on that short one. Rather have the ball down a little bit, down below your eyes, where you can wrap it up, cover it with your chest, absorb the blow a little better.
So it's now 2nd and 10 from the 10-yard line. They doubled up on the wide side of the field, and now the slot man Brown is in motion to the near side. Delay for Nick Bell. Takes it up the middle. Close to 5, just outside of the 14, near the 15. Brought down by the middle linebacker, that time Al Smith. Ball security of the utmost now, deep in your own territory, as Nick Bell hung on to that one. And now the play coming in from the sideline for Todd Marinovich. On 3rd and still call it 6 from just outside the 14-yard line. Clock moving, 8.5 minutes left in the 3rd. The Raiders by 4.
3 wide receivers.
Protection holds up for Marinovich, and he goes to his wide receiver Grady, who had it. It looked like he caught him in stride, but Sam just couldn't hang on. Easily for the first down if he does pull it in, and then the sprinter with Olympic type speed could have turned it upfield for big yardage.
Would have been fun to see Sammy run.
Instead, a punting situation as Corey Harris waits back inside the 40-yard line. The punt, Jeff Gossett.
See Steve Smith back there as the deep blocking back. One of his responsibilities is to count the number of people to be sure there are only 11, but all 11 are out there.
Returnable type. Low line drive. Harris gets a block, but that is all. One block and good coverage downfield by the Raiders. After the 44-yard punt by Gossett, only a 6-yard return. Good coverage. And when we come back, the Oilers will have it, though, in exceptional field position at their own 47, trailing the Raiders by only 4.
On for the day. Warren Moon of the Oilers completed 12 for 22, 158 yards and 1 touchdown. He played into the middle of the 3rd quarter. Jay Schrader, who played only the 1st quarter, 7 for 10, 92 yards and 1 touchdown.
So it's Cody Carlson taking over in his 6th year from Baylor, a 3rd-round pick back in 1987. And the running back remains Gary Brown, the single set, with trips over to the near side. Brown bouncing outside, breaking tackles. A good job by Gary Brown when it looked like it was going to be a loss, and he's got close to a first down. It looked like he was going to be dropped in the backfield.
Great effort. Strong through the hips. That's where he broke the tackles. The pursuit broke down a little bit. Everybody's got a containment lane, including people from the backside, so that you don't get the play bouncing back or cutting back. You get so anxious after a timeout in particular to come out there and make the big play that you have to concentrate on your responsibility as given to you by your defensive coaches.
He did get a little more than 10 yards for the first down inside Raider territory. All 3 drives have been in super field position in the second half for Houston. Fuller on the quick hitter, and Fuller on his way, bouncing it outside inside the 30. He'll take it inside the 20 down to the Raider 18-yard line. So the former Pennsylvania High School Player of the Year back in '86 from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Oilers start the drive at the 47. They're now at the Raider 18. Their previous 2 drives in the second half started at their own 37, and their first one at their own 44-yard line. Harris goes in motion. That's Leonard, not Corey. And Carlson throwing, has a man and overthrows Haywood Jeffries, who had an inside track on the defensive back. He was working on Sam Seal.
Number 20, the safety, Derek Hoskins, coming over. The way safeties play with the Raiders, you're looking for that tie. The ball, the defensive back, the wide receiver all coming to one spot, and the safety going in there and being sure that people get scattered and the ball ends up bouncing on the ground.
You just saw those preseason numbers for Cody Carlson. He owns every Baylor career passing record. In his 6th season, his busiest season was his 2nd back in '88 when he started 5 games. Warren Moon went down with the injury. Last year he played in only 3 games, attempting only 12 passes. Wide open receiver for Carlson. It's complete inside the 10. Givens again, and he's in. Touchdown Houston, and they've got their first lead of the day.
Quick feet, quick feet. Very athletic receivers who can run with the football. One thing with this philosophy of offense, there's a place for that little man, that receiver in the 4 wide receiver offense. That was a good drive, mixing up the run and shoot with some run, not all shoot.
So some of the reserve defensive backs being victimized in the Raiders secondary now after the 18-yard completion for the score for Ernest Givens. And let's see if that hook that looks like my golf shot is going to be there for Al Del Greco once again, like the last time where he missed the extra point. No, he's got it this time. And the Oilers lead it by 3. There's a timeout on the field. We'll be right back at the Coliseum. 6.5 minutes left in the third. It's now Houston 19 and the Raiders 16.
Feet made the people miss on the tackle. Notice he didn't run way back across the field, giving everybody a shot at him. Once he had a chance to turn upfield and go to the goal line, that's where he went.
Del Greco going the other way this time to Tyrone Montgomery from the 6-yard line. Montgomery close to breaking it across the 20. He's out to the 24-yard line with a flag down to the play.
Looks like a holding call against the Raiders. That's the first thing you do anymore on any kind of return, is look out there to see if there was a flag.
So with Marinovich at quarterback, it appears.
On the return, number 88,
Yes.
10-yard penalty, first down.
It's called on Ethan Horton. Marinovich in the offensive unit will start deep in a hole again. The last drive started back at their own 10-yard line. That was 3 snaps and a punt. Now they're back at their own 14-yard line.
Winston Moss, number 99 linebacker who returned this past week, was in on that kickoff return. The Raiders are down at just 2 players out of camp now, Scott Davis and Greg Townsend. Got to put all the pieces together now because league play next Sunday night.
Again, the Raiders go strong to the right side. Single set is Nick Bell. Marinovich throwing for Tim Brown. It's complete to the 40, and then a couple of extra to the 42 for a Raider first down.
Beautiful touch on that pass. There was not a big window. There was not a big area for Todd to put that ball in with tight coverage. That was 28-yarder to Tim Brown. Tim Brown is an outstanding big play kind of receiver. We'll see it again. Nick Bell coming out of the backfield, but there's not a lot of room. There was a defensive hand in there, a safety coming. Marinovich got it right in the area he had to.
Nick Bell wrapped up almost as soon as he got the ball by Lamar Latham, the left side linebacker. A yard, and that is all. So it'll bring up 2nd and 9 for the Raiders.
Offensive line of Greg McElroy, Srepanak, Turk, Pete, and Pat in there for the Raiders.
So the entire 2nd unit offensive line in there now for Los Angeles. Marinovich looking one way, ready to go the other way. A holding flag. You can see the flag in the air. And it falls incomplete.
That one was called on 55, Rich Stevens, in all likelihood. Oilers not satisfied. They thought they could have come up with an interception and didn't. This was kind of a takedown where the blocker had grabbed the jersey and used it to take the pass rusher to the ground.
Offense, number 55, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 2nd down.
Rich Stevens was with the Raiders in training camp last year. Waived near the end, went to Sacramento and played with the Sacramento Surge, the winning team in the World League. There you see Grady in traffic.
And Lewis almost had the interception. You were being kind when you said a takedown. It was almost a pin by Rich Stevens as well. So the mark off, and it's 2nd and 19 now. Outside of the 31, pressure again. Marinovich eludes it and throws it away. Plenty of feet on the Raider quarterback. The first, Lee Williams, the defensive end. Came over from San Diego. Receiver Sean Jefferson, the Oilers' first-round pick in this past spring's draft, going to San Diego in return for Lee Williams.
Play being sent in from the sideline by Terry Rubisky, who's in touch with 3 Raider offensive coaches upstairs, Joe Scannella, Tom Walsh, and Mike White.
So now it's 3rd and 19, 5:03 left in the 3rd. Raiders down by 3, 19-16. Pocket holds up better for Marinovich, going for the bundle, looking for Jones, and just out of his reach. Balboa Orlando, the free safety, was there as well. They were battling for the ball.
Not a lot of tight ends in this league with the speed to go deep like David Jones has. David was a wide receiver. Raiders have added some weight with strength coaches Todd Sperber and Doug Wilkerson working with him, and now he can play tight end. He can split as he has been earlier in the game or play in the slot. He's got the size and speed combination to do all those things.
So another punt coming up for Jeff Gossett. As Corey Harris waits back at the 22 for Houston. And the high spiral. Harris does not call for the fair catch, loses it, gets it back, and takes it up to the 30-yard line where he's banged down by number 44 for the Raiders. That's Dave Waymer. A 48-yard punt and 11-yard return.
First hit there by 51, linebacker Aaron Wallace. Right there, strips the ball. Alertly goes back and gets it though. And then David Waymer straightens him up, brings him to the ground. Your ability to play special teams is a major factor in the final decisions that the coaches have to make in picking the 47-man squad. There have to be people who can play all the special teams. There are 7 or 8 guys who end up playing on 5 different special teams.
Carlson once again in there at quarterback for Houston. First down from their own 30. With time, going deep for Jeffries and throwing behind his intended target. The coverage provided, and good coverage there by Sam Seal. He's the tallest wide receiver for Cody Carlson. The Oiler quarterback's 6'2", 200 pounds. Named for the Pro Bowl last year, Haywood Jeffries. He led the league with 100 catches.
It's an amazing number in 100 catches. There have been very few receivers in National Football League history over 70 years.
He became only the 5th.
Where they catch 100.
Became only the 5th, Al, in league history to hit that century mark in receptions. And it was also his 2nd straight season to lead the AFC in receiving yardage. Hasn't been heard from all that much today. Gibbons and Leonard Harris, the favorite targets early of Warren Moon. Carlson with pressure coming on his way down. The sack going to the linebacker for the Raiders, A.J. Jimerson.
Jimerson, number 58, will be coming out of the left side of your screen. Good job of exploding once he cleared the block.
Playing for the Ohio Glory of the World League.
The World League was a helpful place for a lot of the young Raider players. We're certainly hopeful that it continues because our football team is growing, and it gives us an opportunity to have these players get experience in the offseason. And that's the toughest division in the NFC, with, in our case, Philadelphia, Dallas, the New York Giants, and the Washington Redskins. Spent 3 days practicing against the Dallas Cowboys, and there's tremendous interest in the rivalry between the two Texas clubs.
3rd and 19 for the 21. 6 defensive backs in there for the Raiders. As Carlson has Gibbons going in motion, and it looked like Jimerson may have jumped offside. Flag on the play. Jeffries has it. It's complete. Breaking tackles past the 30. Does he get to the marker?
No, he doesn't.
He is short of the first down.
As a coach, do you take the 5-yard penalty and then have 14 yards to go for the first down? Or do you stay back there with the 19? This is an interesting situation. You want yardage, but if you take the play, you have to punt the football.
Offsides, defense, number 58, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down, 3rd down.
It was Jimerson.
Where they're signaled down from upstairs. Jack Stanton, Ronnie Jones upstairs, 2 of the coaches on defense.
Carlson setting up with time. Man available over the middle, and it's dropped in and out of the hands of Leonard Harris. He had more than enough for the first down, but couldn't hold on between the hash marks with pressure coming.
Second look, Carlson getting a lot of time here. You can see his eyes lit up. He saw that guy getting open deep enough for the first down. Now notice right there, 37, Curtis Cotton picks up the ball after the bounce. Derek Hoskins, let's run with it in case they say that that was a legal catch, and we'll argue later.
A ball, though, that should have been caught. Cody Carlson dropped, though, by Leonard Harris.
There's a flag down.
Flag with the wobbler taken by Hobbs at the 35. And he's down at the 38-yard line, but a flag down at the line of scrimmage after the 40-yard punt by Greg Montgomery.
Nice to see number 52 Mike Jones out there for the Raiders. He left earlier on the cart, and I think they checked with some x-rays, found out there were nothing broken, nothing serious. He said, hey coach, I'm ready to play.
Illegal formation on the kicking team, not then on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. First down, Houston.
You have to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. You can have more, but you can't have less.
That was the case for the Houston Oilers, and no doubt the Raiders were going to decline that. This is the best field position for the Raiders to start a drive at the second half at the 38. The last one was at the 14, then at the 10 before that, and their initial drive at the 20-yard line of the second half. That was their only scoring drive, and it took only 3 plays. On third score to give the Raiders a 16-6 lead, but since that point, there have been 2 touchdowns for the Houston Oilers. They lead it by 3. Marinovich with plenty of time and a wide open receiver. It's complete for a first down to the 42 of the Oilers to Sam Grady. 20 yards on the catch.
Play fake early on that to 38 Nick Bell, and then Bell settled out in the flat short, got the concentration of the defenders. Grady was able to get in a little deeper. See the fake there, then 38 keeps going, and everyone says they're going to go to him. Clear out by the tight end, and then it leaves that open area. Sam Grady just kind of settled in that space. Good touch pass by Todd Marinovich.
Movement by the Raiders. Was that Todd Pete over on the right side? It looked like Pete jumped up early.
A defensive man started to come, but he's allowed to as long as he gets back.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
The offensive man cannot step forward and react to that and make contact. You got to kind of stand there and take the shot.
It was on Pete in his 4th year from Northern Illinois. So it's now going to be 1st and 15 for the Raiders at the 47 of the Oilers. 2.5 minutes, the clock moving. left in the third quarter. And Marinovich is going to use the first time out of the second half of the Raiders.
Timeout, Los Angeles.
So each
Their
team
first
now
timeout.
with 2 timeouts left in the contest.
Information makes the call, but the head coach always has the right to say, no, here's what I want to go with. They're both connected to one another and to 3 coaches upstairs.
At the end of the first half, we were talking about the first team defensive unit allowing only 6 points in the first 30 minutes of play. Let's not forget about that first unit offensive line. A good first half again for Eric Dickerson. And last week they did not give up a sack to the Washington Redskins, protecting the quarterback well.
In 4 games.
Raiders and Marinovich ready to go now after the timeout at the 47. Quick count, and Nick Bell goes nowhere. He's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 15.
Let's win it. Let's go 5-0. Let's go home.
2nd and 15. Plenty of time for Marinovich. Pocket holds up well and wide open. It's Grady. He's going to be gone inside the 20, the 10, the 5. Is he in? Yes, touchdown Raiders. There is a flag down, though, back in the offensive backfield. Was there a hold against the Raiders?
This will be the 2nd touchdown called back. The Raiders had a long punt return by Tim Brown that was called back. 14 points that might have been, but the world is full of might have beens.
That takes away a 47-yard touchdown pass from Marinovich to Grady.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
A low chop block while a man was engaged by another blocker. 15-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 2nd down.
Chop block rule is a complicated one to be explained by the official, but from a safety standpoint, if one blocker has a man set up high on a pass protection play, the second one cannot come in there and chop him down around the knees. Because you're engaged with the first one, you don't see the second one coming, and it's a potential injury. And the league is very safety conscious. The adoption of that rule for inside plays is for the first time this year.
So now it's 3rd, or make it 2nd and forever. 2nd and 30 after the 15-yard mark off. They set up the screen to Gainer. It's complete to the 40, to the 45, and a gain of 7 is all they pick up on the quick screen. Lamar Latham, the left side linebacker, making the hit.
Definition of chop blocks in this spring from a standpoint of safety after reviewing a lot of films of injuries or potential injuries in '91.
3 wide receivers for the Raiders on 3rd and 23. Marinovich going for the bundle, looking for Tim Brown. He's behind the defender. It's complete inside the 5. What a grab by Brown to the 4-yard line. 51 yards on the catch.
Intercepted.
And it was taken away from Brown. Brown thought he had it and he came down with it. He said he had the ball and now he's arguing, but it was taken away.
Great protection. Now we'll take a look. There is no such thing really as simultaneous possession. One guy has the ball when they go to the ground. It's his ball.
It looks like it hit the turf as well.
It looked like it hit the turf and should be an incomplete.
Well,
but
Mike Dumas is going to have an interception.
But probably it would be difficult to get a better position on a punt. So if you're going to lose the ball, this isn't the worst situation.
Well, it's 51 yards either way. 51 yards in the pass that was intercepted by Dumas, but it looked like it was
92.
So it is like a 51-yard punt. 1st and 10 to 4. Carlson throwing out of his own end zone, has a man wide open. It's complete. It's up to the 18-yard line. It's a 1st down to Ernest Gibbons. Or check that, Corey Harris, 86, not 81.
Good pressure by 79 Bob Golick on that one. That's a long pass. It's only 11 or 12 yards, but you're throwing from
3-quarter numbers.
Again, the Oilers a slight lead in the passing game. The Raiders a substantial lead in the rushing game, aided by the 71-yard touchdown breakaway by Nick Bell early in the 3rd quarter.
Oilers start the 4th with the ball at a 19-16 lead. Trying to go perfect in the preseason for only the 3rd time in the team's history. Up the middle. The carry going for close to the 1st down. Spencer Tillman in there, the 3rd running back employed by Jack Pardee. a Plan B signing for the 49ers, who actually started his career with the Oilers. He gets 9 on the carry. He was the Oilers' 5th-round pick back in '87. Spent 2 years with Houston before joining the 49ers, where he's been the last 3 seasons. And he should have fresh legs because Spencer Tillman's had only 28 carries in his 5 pro seasons. He's a single set once again. Second and a yard. It's Tillman. And he bounces ahead for the first down across the 31. And during the offseason, he's a weekend sports anchor, the NBC affiliate in Houston.
Gotta get that network plugged in there.
KPRC. First and 10, the dump off. It's complete. The wideout has it. It takes a pop in the process. That's when you need to learn to go down. Bringing it in, Pat Coleman in his 2nd year from Mississippi.
You know, having the 6-foot wide border around the field here in the Coliseum helps that the defenders know that the player was not out of bounds. So do the officials. He juggled the ball to start. Quick pass. Good coverage coming up. Nice tackle. Sam Seal hanging on. And then Derek Hoskins, who's a real hitter out of Southern Mississippi, coming up there and seeing to it that the play ended right there.
It's now 2nd and just about 5. 2nd and 5 from the 36. And wide of Coleman, the intended target once again. The linebacker trying to keep up. Tom Benson with the wide receiver.
Cody Carlson, a big, strong kid, good athlete, has played well when he's come in games against. We do have a winning record in the domes. We've got a winning record on every day of the week. The Raiders Pro Football is winning his team.
Coleman is the motion man. And a delay of game call coming up against the Oilers. The backup quarterback from Pittsburgh or Cincinnati, challenging the Houston Oilers in that AFC Central.
I think Cleveland in particular could surprise you.
I hope you're right. 3rd and 10. And it's batted down at the line. Getting his hands up in the air, Barrett Collins, a rookie from Cal. So the Raiders ready to get the ball back. Darryl Hobbs again ready to bring it back from the 25 of the Raiders. Montgomery boots it away and sends out a long one. Hobbs going back to the 11. Hobbs doing it all on his own. What a return by Darryl Hobbs. 19 yards to the 30 after the 50-yard punt. That'll open up some eyes when you're trying to make the team. Nifty moves by Darryl Hobbs. A time out of the field. The Raiders have it back. Their first 4th quarter possession with 12:38 left in the game as they continue to trail by 3. Possibilities now that you don't have you're possibly looking for a returner, aren't you? Possibly looking for a returner like Darryl Hobbs. No,
nice to have depth, but you know, you've got the Pro Bowl returner in Tim Brown.
Right. Yeah. What about kickoffs?
Well, punt guy's not a kickoff guy. Montgomery's a kickoff guy.
Joel Myers along with Raider executive assistant Al LOCASALE.
Raiders are concluding their 33rd preseason and the 11th here in Los Angeles. It's also the 30th year for Al Davis in his reign with the Raiders.
Nick Bell, Derek Gainer in the backfield. Bell gets it, and he is throttled. The linebacker making the hit. Joe Bowden, a rookie from Oklahoma, and in talking to the Oilers earlier as there's an injured Raider down, he's been one of the pleasant developments. Big hitter and a pleasant surprise as well on the special teams.
67 Dan Turk, Raiders center. This special empathy with the linemen. He's done what they're asked to do. He knows how tough it is, and they have a special relationship. Head coach Art Shell and the Raider offensive lineman. Art spends a lot of time watching the offensive lineman during practice as he wanders from drill to drill, covers each area, and always goes up during the pass protection work between the offensive lineman of Kim Helton and the defensive lineman coached by Earl Leggett. Always looking to give a little advice to a player, a little tip, and they accept him, knowing here's a guy who did what I'm being asked to do and did it well enough to be one of only 100.
Also on the road at Cincinnati, where I understand even though David Shula has taken over as the new head coach, they are still looking very much like the team Sam Weiss left. Marinovich over the middle. Grady's there. First down, Raiders to the 46-yard line. Darrell Lewis on the coverage, but getting over late.
A real development. Credit Fred Biletnikoff, the speed receivers for the Raiders. Grady and Galt, Olympic caliber speedsters, have proven that they'll go into the middle, they'll go into traffic. You got to give them most of the credit, and then work from Fred Biletnikoff and confidence from Art Shell and everybody in the organization that they can do that.
Nick Bell turning it back inside after starting outside a couple of yards on the first down carry. Out to the 48, and that is it. Lathan and Marcus Robertson, a young man from Muir High School in Pasadena, dropping down the Raider running back.
The towel, by the way, there's nothing written on that in the way of plays or anything like that. That's for the quarterback to help keep his hands dry. It's in the 80s here in the Coliseum, humid, and that ball can get slick.
Raiders are down by 3, a 19-16 Houston lead with exactly 11 minutes left in the contest. 2nd and 8 from the 48. Pocket holding up well. Marinovich has Brown wide open. He's got it. Touchdown, Raiders.
That was a beautiful pass. I mean, he just laid it right in there. And you draw it up that way on the blackboard. Kind of reminiscent of the very first touchdown pass that Todd Marinovich threw against Kansas City in his pro career's first score last year. Excellent protection, plenty of time, everybody sealed, steps up, lays it up. Brown's out in front, let him run under the football. Tim Brown was not an Olympian, but if we put together a 400-meter relay team to go to some Olympics, he'd be one of the finalists for us.
You saw the safety Dumas come over late, but he actually was working on the quarterback, Steve Jackson. So now Jaeger in. They're trying to put the Raiders up by 4, a very important extra point. And the Raiders do lead now by more than a field goal. 10:49 left, and the Raiders regain the lead. We'll keep it right here. It's now the Raiders 23 and the Oilers 19 on the 52-yard pass from Marinovich to Tim Brown. Now Brown thought he had one before when he took it inside the 4, only to have it knocked away and stripped away by Dumas for an interception.
And then Tim had one touchdown call back earlier
on a punt return.
A 71-yard punt return. That drive, 4 plays, 70 yards, with the score coming from Marinovich to Tim Brown. Report on Dan Chirk, preliminary report on from the sideline. Strained knee ligaments. We thank publications director Mike Taylor and assistant John Walsh for getting us the quick information from the sidelines, and if we find out more from the medical team before the game's over, we'll pass it on.
The one thing you always have to like when you look at Marinovich in the pocket, you don't see happy feet. He always has poise in the pocket, even when it seems like it may be collapsing around him.
And as I said, that play looks so much like the very first touchdown pass he threw as a professional. It was in the final league game last year to Tim Brown, coming the opposite side of the field, but going down the right-hand sideline. Laid it up against the Chiefs the same way. Air the ball out. Let the back, the receiver with speed when he's got the cushion beaten, when he's got distance behind the defensive back, lay it out, let him run to it. Don't put it on a frozen rope where if you don't hit his hands, there's no chance of a completion.
Darrell Lewis, Spencer Tillman waiting for the kickoff, and it's going to be Lewis from the 2. Lewis doing it by himself now across the 30, out to the 32-yard line. A return of 30 yards by Darrell Lewis. Derek Gainer and Elvis Patterson bringing down the return man. So now Houston has it. Decent field position to their own 32. The Raiders on the road at Denver. Houston's at home against Pittsburgh. They finally get the Astrodome back. Cody Carlson remains in there at quarterback, and on the counter it's Spencer Tillman, wrapped up in a hurry. Making the play, A.J. Jimerson got him low. It's a gain of just about 3. Cut it 3 to the 36. So now 2nd and 7. Clock moving. 10-10 left. And Carlson looking deep for Coleman, batted down and almost intercepted by Hoskins, the rookie from Southern Mississippi, the 5th round draft choice. Timing it perfectly, just couldn't come up with a pick. So now it's going to bring up 3rd and still 7 yards to go. Cody Carlson does have 1 touchdown toss, but he's only completed 3 of 9. Working like Marinovich, basically with the 2nd offensive unit, and throwing it well underneath and well behind his intended target, Corey Harris. So 3 snaps and a punt. The Raiders' 2nd team defensive unit gets the job done and gets the ball back for the offense. So Greg Montgomery getting ready for his 5th punt in the afternoon.
A key possession. One of the keys in these games that begin to get high scoring is to score back-to-back. Score in 2 consecutive possessions. That's how you break the game open.
Now you can also, if the Raiders put it away, if you can hang on to the ball for 6 or 7 minutes, put together a ball control possession. The wobbler will be taken by Hobbs at the 14, makes the first man miss. Another one misses at the 20, but that is all to the 20-yard line. 50-yard punt again by Montgomery. When we return, the Raiders have it first instead of their own 20. The offense guided by Todd Marinovich as they lead it by 4. And hold on to the ball for 6-7 minutes. You'd have to think they would put it away effectively. See if they can put together that possession type long drive of 80 yards with Marinovich at the controls. Thanks as always to our great staff up here in the booth. Dennis Mnuchin, our statistician, John Kingdon, our spotter, and Alex LOCASALE, our production associate. They come out in the eye. Gainer in front of Nick Bell, and Marinovich right away changes the play with Hobbs going in motion. Now setting up. Marinovich throwing on 1st down. Pressure coming, and it's picked off. Intercepted. Taking it back down the right side inside the 20. Darrell Lewis, the young man from Nogales High School in West Covina. And the Oilers.
Marinovich took a real shot on that one. That play was destined to doom right from the beginning with the improper alignment. You see the pressure coming from the backside. Receivers never turned around. The timing was just off from the beginning on that one. Skrepenak running the interceptor out of bounds. At 315 pounds, the defensive back decided, I'm not turning upfield and challenging Skrepenak.
So instead of the long ball control drive, Houston's got it now at the 16 of the Raiders. So on their 11th possession of the afternoon, this is the first time they start with it in Los Angeles territory. Spencer Tillman, the single set, a couple of wide receivers to each side. The quick one, it's complete to Coleman. Coleman trying to get to the outside, but a sure-handed tackle to the secondary made by Sam Seal.
That's a play call. That's a line of scrimmage. Carlson looks up.
8:55 left. The Oilers trying to regain the lead. They're down by 4, 23-19. Showing the blitz. Here come the Raiders. It's picked up though. Carlson breaking the containment, throws into the end zone. Touchdown Houston, and it goes to Corey Harris. Well, Carlson felt the backside pressure rolling outside, had some time and found Harris.
The ability to run that Carlson has threatens the defense to where they think about, do I have to come up and stop him running? At half a step hesitation may be all a receiver needs. Good strong throw on the run. McWright, number 15, is the corner out there as the Raiders are looking at everybody on the roster now because cut down day is Monday.
Del Greco trying to put the Oilers up by 3. He's already missed one.
Store openings, advertising opportunities.
Sam Grady just brought it back from the goal line on the kickoff after the score by Houston at the 18-yard line. So an 18-yard return for Grady, and now the Raiders again play catch up after leading by 4. A 12-yard touchdown pass from Carlson to Corey Harris gives Houston the lead once again, 26-23. Under 8.5 minutes left, and Marinovich still guiding the offense for Los Angeles. He audibilized on that last sequence at the line, through an interception. So there's plenty of coverage provided by Houston. Darrell Lewis, the young man, coming up with it. And Marinovich has some time, and it's almost picked off once again, and it's trapped. Going for it, Lewis almost had his second interception after it was deflected. He was looking for Nick Bell. There are a couple of Oilers right around Bell as well. Jackson looked like he got a piece of the ball.
Take a second look. Protection early, but then penetration. Todd couldn't step up when he wanted to. Good coverage, really surrounded the receiver.
And it was Steve Jackson who got his fingertips on the ball before Lewis almost came up with a second pick. The tight end's there, and it's complete to Andrew Glover. He's got the first down to the 30-yard line.
Andrew Glover was a track man and a basketball player at Grambling, but really known better for his track play and his basketball play than his football play. Was a big outside receiver, came in here, and the Raiders worked to bulk him up, strengthen him up. Tight end coach Terry Rabisky. A little work from Marv Marinovich, Todd's dad, who is has a health facility where we have sent a number of players to work with him to get bigger and stronger. Grew to 240 and has played.
Flags on the play.
There was a movement in the offensive line. I think the left tackle may have moved before the snap, which would kill the play.
I think you're right. Number 71, Joel Patton.
False start. Offense, number 71, prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still a first down.
That's Dick Hantak, our referee. So
mistake, fumble, get the ball back.
Nick Bell breaking tackles. Horse collar down finally at the 27-yard line by Eddie Robinson, a rookie from Alabama State, the second-round draft choice this year for the Houston Oilers.
Eddie Robinson on the tackle. Gain of 2 yards.
So now it's going to be second and 13. Clock moving against the Raiders, under 7 minutes to play, as the Raiders look for their first preseason victory, while Houston tries to keep their preseason record intact. A perfect 4-0, trying to make it 5-0, getting ready for the Steelers next Sunday at home. Marinovich with time. The pump fake, buying more time. Going downfield, he's got his tight end, Ethan Horton, for a first down. Or check that, 38, not 88, Nick Bell. That's the first down of 18 yards on the completion.
You see, as Todd's going left, he takes a quick look to the sideline to be sure he doesn't cross the line of scrimmage here when he starts his scramble. Good flag action, pulling the ball down. Let's start it over. Now right here, see, that's when he takes a look at that sideline, says to the receiver, move downfield for me. He knows he's got to find out where the line of scrimmage is. If you throw the ball once you've crossed the line of scrimmage, you get no completion.
Nick Bell weaving his way across the 50 into Oiler territory. Down to the Houston 48, a carry of 7 yards.
As the Raiders move it down, trailing by 3 points, you might ask, do we go overtime if they get the field goal and we end up 26-26. We go the regular overtime situation in preseason play. The Raiders have already been in one overtime preseason game this summer against the Rams, and we've had a total of 2 in our history. Overtime only began in 1975. Bell has now rushed 11 times for 100 yards and 1 touchdown.
And that big touchdown run was 71 yards. Marinovich has plenty of time. Going to the sideline and in and out of the hands of Darryl Hobbs, the rookie from Pacific.
You know, you rarely get a 100-yard rushing performance in preseason because you usually have maybe 3 running backs at the halfback spot who split the time. And then you're splitting the time with some fullbacks. So you've got 5 or 6 potential ball carriers. One is not usually in there long enough to get the 100 yards. Speaking of 100 yards, Todd Marinovich has thrown for 157, 8 completions in 16 attempts, 50%, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, his first interceptions of the preseason.
3rd and short for the Raiders. 3rd and a little more than 3. As Glover, the tight end, goes in motion. And the pressure comes. A blitz on Marinovich. He's got a man. It's complete for the first down. Glover with a flag down on the play, thrown by the referee, hand tag, and it looked like a late hit on Marinovich.
The referee's principal job on a pass play is to observe the quarterback. Forget everything else. Observe the quarterback. You're responsible for his safety and whether or not it's a forward pass or a fumble. If he's hit.
Number 94, roughing the passer. First down with an additional 15 yards.
They call it on Glenn Montgomery, roughing the passer.
That's 2nd personal foul on Montgomery. Let's take a look and see what Dick Hantak saw. Pressure. Marinovich scrambles out from it. Throws the football. He's taken a step or 2, and the guy dives at his legs. The defensive lineman is allowed to take no more than 1 step after the ball has been released. He's responsible for avoiding the contact once the ball has been released. If he's already launched and he's in the air, obviously you give him some benefit. But if he could have stopped himself, he has to make the attempt.
Under 5 minutes to play. This drive started at the Raider 18. The penalty takes it all the way down to the 27 of Houston. First down with Glover going in motion again. Fake on the pitch. Pocket holds up for Marinovich. He's got Nick Bell, and Bell's got another first down to the 12-yard line.
Good hands on that one with Bell. He lost vision on the ball, making that turn to make that 15-yard grab, and then reached for it.
Well, last year the maturity process was stagnated for Nick Bell due to injuries.
He missed 8 games. He was injured in the preseason in Tokyo when we played Miami, and missed 4, and then missed 4 later on. Now, you know, Marinovich is left-handed, and you say he's thrown all these balls to the left. The touchdown, the Brown, went to his right.
1st and 10 outside of the 12. Gainer plowing his way inside the 10 to the 6-yard line.
Gainer, a 240-pounder, compactly wound. He's only about 5'10" or 5'11". We'll see that one again from the defensive side. Just drives it up. Good leg drive. From Florida A&M, was with the Raiders as a draft choice a couple years ago. Spent a year on the practice squad, then went with the Cleveland Browns. Released and came back home.
Some tough decisions for running backs coach Joe Scannella. And Archell coming up. They are deep at the running back position. Gainer diving close to the first down. He's short, though, by about a yard. He gets to the 4. Glenn Montgomery tripping him up. The left tackle. But very difficult decisions coming up for the Raiders, especially the running back position where they have depth.
Play coming in from the sideline with tight end Ethan Horton. You know, the guy sending in the plays has to keep track of the personnel in the ball game. You can't call a play for 4 wide receivers when you've got 3 tight ends in the game. So you've got to match personnel to need.
The 2 tight ends over to the right side. Nick Bell They stand him up at the line. He falls forward, but I believe he is short of the first down. He needed to take it just inside the 3. It'll depend upon the spot, but it looks like the linesman coming over on our side is just outside the 3. It'll bring up 4th down. Raiders are down by 3, 2:32 left. And I don't see the place kicking team coming on. No, instead the play is being brought in. And will they use the timeout? Play is being brought in now by Kevin Smith, the running back from UCLA, a 7th round draft choice.
Clock's running. The Raiders may have to take that timeout.
Here they go on 4th and less than a yard. Gainer and Bell, and movement on the line. Montgomery jumped off, but was he drawn off? It looks like it may be going against Houston. Half the distance to the goal line, of 1st down for Los Angeles.
It looked as if
defense contact prior to the snap.
It looked as if Marinovich
Half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
changed the inflection on his count. Looked like from here they kind of moved his shoulders a little and yelled louder. Got a reaction out of the defense. You can get away with more with your voice than you can anything else as a quarterback. You make a move that looks like it was aimed to imitate and draw him off, you might get the call against the offense, but a voice change is usually one you can do.
Nick Bell gets it, takes it inside. He's in. Touchdown Raiders. That culminates an 82-yard Los Angeles drive.
Take another look. Good to have that kind of size, isn't it? 12-play drive for 82 yards to give the Raiders back the lead. Extra point here is a key to stay out of that range of just a field goal to tie.
Gossett holds for Jeff Jager. High snap brought down. It's up and it's good. Good job of the holder, Jeff Gossett. Remember, Dan Turk was injured, so the regular snapper is not. So the Raiders do have that 4-point margin that Al was just alluding to. They lead it now 30-26, 2:05 left. And both teams used a timeout early in the first half. So Houston with 2 and LA with 2.
And
2
we'll get
timeouts
that,
remaining.
We'll get that 2-minute timeout shortly after the kickoff.
Oh, we've seen a little bit of everything this afternoon at the Coliseum on a warm, sunny day in Southern California.
Last time the Raiders scored 30 points in a preseason game was the final preseason game of the 1990 season, beating the San Diego Chargers 34-7. Todd Marinovich now 10 for 18 for 177 yards, 1 touchdown, the 2 interceptions. Nick Bell 102 yards rushing, 13 carries, 2 touchdowns, also 2 receptions for 32 yards.
And once again showed poise under pressure when he was flushed out of the pocket, even using his free hand, his right hand, to direct a couple of receivers downfield to alter things. Darrell Lewis is back along with Spencer Tillman. And it's boomed away by Jeff Jager.
Now
no return.
The clock started on that one because at 2:05 the clock runs as soon as it's kicked. Under 2 minutes, it doesn't start until it's been fielded.
So we have now reached the 2-minute warning at the Coliseum. The Raiders with a 4-point lead over the Oilers.
There you see the stats. The Raiders rushing 177 yards, passing 269 for a total of 446 yards. The Oilers approaching the 300 mark at 290. 2 minutes to go. 2 timeouts left for the Oilers.
And the reserve wide receivers stay in there for the Houston Oilers. I see Gary Wellman, the former USC Trojan, along with Mario Bailey, the Washington Husky. Cody Carlson engineering this drive from the 20. Pressure comes, gets away momentarily, has time, and underthrows
Was number
his
90,
target, Mario Bailey.
number 92, Ferrick Collins, putting on the pressure. Rookie free agent from the University of California, found by the Raiders scouting department of John Kingdon, Angelo Coya, Dan Connors, Bruce Kendrick, Joe Madro, Mickey Marvin, and Kent McLuhan. You remember some of those names. They were outstanding players for the Raiders over the past years.
Only 8 seconds off the clock, minute 52 left on 2nd and 10 from the 20. Bailey going in motion. Their 6th-round draft choice from the Huskies of Washington. Carlson setting up a man over the middle, and it's dropped by Pat Coleman. It was right there for Coleman to the 36 for a Houston first down.
1:45 remaining. Carlson, 5 completions and 14 attempts. There's not a lot of experience out there right now on the silver and black. The Raiders looking at the youngsters primarily. Decision time coming up on Monday.
3rd and 10. Carlson with time, and Coleman hangs on this time. It's complete for the first down to the 43, stopping the clock with a minute 39 left.
23-yard gain. Carlson got the completion, got the first down, and got the clock stopped.
Third catch for him. Young man who played his college ball in Mississippi, Pat Coleman, in his 2nd season, fitting that wide receiver look at 5'7", 175, just like Mario Bailey. A quick one they drafted in the 6th round at 5'9", 160. Seems like most of their wide receivers between 5'6" and 5'8", 5'9", and Spencer Tillman on the delay. Spencer Tillman tried to get to the sideline. Did he get out of bounds? Yes, and he got a first down. Alert play by Tillman. Taking it to the 46 of the Raiders.
1:32 left to play. Remember, a field goal will not do it for the Oilers. They trail by 4 points. The Raiders have 30. The Oilers 26.
.92 seconds left. And Carlson has taken him from the 20 to the Raider 46, converting on that big 3rd down pass.
Raiders have now gone to a 4-man front, 1 linebacker and 6 defensive backs.
Coleman is the motion man. Tillman the only one in the backfield. On 1st and 10. And there are flags on the play. Dead ball foul coming up against the Oilers.
Ball start. Offense number
132 that it was before the penalty was called. The time it ran off should not have run off because it was a dead ball foul before the snap.
Back to the 49. 2nd. It'll make it 1st and 15 for the Oilers. Low snap picked up by Carlson. And he's got Coleman wide open as Coleman makes a miss and gets inside the 40 down to the 38, but could not get to the sideline. So the clock continues to roll with a minute 20 left, brought down by Dave Waymer.
See Dave Waymer kind of holding on as long as he could. Clock's running on that. Officials will call you or stop the clock if they think you're being excessive in holding the guy down.
2nd and short, 2nd and a couple. Going for the sideline. Wellman's got it. And Wellman should know that sideline. Playing for the Trojans of USC. And the reserve wide receivers now getting the job done with the backup quarterback, Cody Carlson. But they still have to get into the end zone, trailing by 4 at 30-26. Carlson going to Coleman, and he is belted. Dan Land delivering the blow.
Clock running, under 50 seconds now.
They continue with the hurry up on 2nd and 5 from the 24. Again, the pocket holds up, and the pass underneath well short of the first down. In fact, they lose a yard as they'll have to use a timeout. That means now Houston only 1 timeout left as they get ready to face 3rd and a little more than 5, almost 6 yards. 3rd and 6 for the Oilers at the Raider 25. 34 seconds left. Pocket holds up, and it's overthrown. He was looking for Mario Bailey.
28 seconds left. That play took 6 seconds. The clock does not start till the ball snapped by the center when it's coming out of what had been a dead ball situation earlier. That is, the clock was not running before the start of the play. It starts second. The center lifts the ball up to the quarterback, or flips it back if they're in a shotgun.
So this is it for the Oilers. 4th and almost 6 at the Raider 25. They need to go inside the Los Angeles 19.
You could call this a big play.
Coleman is the motion man. Spencer Tillman, the lone setback. Carlson has time and overthrows his man by a good margin as the Raiders are on their way to their first preseason victory.
Pressure on that play at the last instant by number 97, Willie Broughton, was a contributing factor into that ball sailing tall. Bob Golick, Broughton, the whole group. You know, it's nice to finish your preseason on a win. If you're going to get one, get it on the last one. Use that to carry some enthusiasm toward the opener. And for the Raiders, the opener is a big one, a tough one on the road in Denver next Sunday night. That game will be on TNT and KCAL Channel 9.
As you said, though, very early in the telecast, Al, that there were encouraging signs on both sides of the line in a natural progression with each preseason game.
This team is grown. That is, John Madden used to say, every day in every way you got to get a little bit better, and that's what's happened through the preseason. But this team is growing. Grow with us.
Marinovich taking one snap. The Oilers will not use their final timeout, and that will be the final play of the game as they'll count it down inside 15. So the Raiders will finish up the preseason at 1-3, while the Oilers will get ready for their home opener next Sunday, finishing the preseason with an impressive 4-1 record, and especially that last win at New Orleans, beating the Saints 33-3. No doubt the favorites in the AFC Central Division this year once again. Art Shell and the Raiders, well, they get ready now for the Denver Broncos next Sunday night at Miles.